Greetings to the whole world, Science. This is Luandile here, the leader and the instructor of Manikwe School. And if you don't know what school is there is actually a school that is dedicated to teaching programming by means of going through a given textbook and solve each and every exercise in at least 2 ways. And right now we are about to get our hands dirty with exercise 2.19, and we will be giving our second solution on this problem. And if you think there's absolutely no reason for you to watch this tutorial, I don't think you've got it right, because there are certain things that I want you to notice, or I want you not to do when working your own project or maybe an assignment from your college. There are certain mistakes I don't want you to do. Mistakes which were done by student A. By student A, I mean mistakes which we did on our previous solution on this problem, right? On this exercise. So again, the point of these tutorials is to do things in different ways. That way you will see what's not to do. It's actually called a process of elimination. It's like, you see, it's like knowing who you are not. Even though people, they will always tell you to know who you are, that is as important as it is to know who you are not. So without any further words, it's time we actually give our second solution. So if you haven't yet seen the problem, here's the exercise. It's exercise 2.19. We gotta write a program that prompts the user to enter 3 points. Okay, x1, y1, we'll consider that as our A, the coordinates A, xy, y2, the coordinates B, x3, y3, the coordinates C of a triangle, and displays its area. Okay. The formula for computing the area of a triangle is given by that. So here is a sample run. We're also given a sample run. So you're going to use it to check whether or not our computation or our program works as intended. Let's get on to our IDE now and create a class. We simply call that class exercise 2.19c. We hit this checkbox. Okay. Okay. Before we give out the solution, though, there's something I want to say. If you guys want to get your own copy for this textbook we're actually working on, here's the website that you want to go through, and in case you're wondering why didn't I link it down below, because this is YouTube, right? And if you're not watching this from YouTube, then I guess you are gonna find a way. I am gonna put a link below, but if you're watching this from YouTube, you've gotta know that by the time of recording this video, I was not actually enabled or allowed, perhaps, to put links on my videos. I hope that's clear and everyone can see this side over here, so that you can get your own book. It is actually time to stop horsing around, you folks. Stop playing and try to work on these problems. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your time, and I can assure you everything I'll be saying, if you're not going through these exercises, will go in one ear and out the other. So you might as well attempt it. That way you will see what kind of mistakes one can do in such a problem. Okay, so it's actually time for us to do the coding. Firstly, student A did not comment some of his, student A did not comment some portion of his code. For instance, it didn't let us know that he was creating a scanner. However, this is something that one might go as far as to say why there's absolutely no need to put a comment. In fact, that is right. I'm just pointing it out that putting a comment is special and is important for someone who did not write a code. Okay, so we gotta close our scanner. However, that's not the only incorrect thing about student A's perspective. In fact, there's a main reason why I'm saying student A's solution was a bit wrong, and you'll see that in a moment. Prompt a user. It's something that has nothing to do with comments. It has nothing to do with variables either. So prompt a user to enter 3 points. I remember when I mastered this whole idea of commenting out your code, even my instructor, the guy named Pillay Anbani at UKZN, University of KwaZulu-Natal, in Westville campus, I remember he mentioned how professional my code looked, even though I was still doing first year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why I kept letting you know, guys. I cannot stress enough the importance of commenting out your code. So it's system.out.print. Even though I might overdo it sometimes, but that's because I'm trying to emphasize the point here. Okay, enter 3 points for a triangle. If you remember well, what we did is on our previous solution, we declared a bunch of variables in one line, separated them using a comma. However, that's not good style of code, right? So the better way would be to go double.x1 and then next double. In fact, the better way would be to declare and initialize in one line. Of course, that's not the right choice all the time. There are some cases where you would wanna declare your variable and then later on assign a value to it. That is to initialize it. However, on this exercise, a better way would be to simply declare and initialize your variables, right? And then lastly, we'll have this point x3, which is given as scanner dot next double. So double y3 is equals to scanner dot next double. Okay. Again, perhaps you might wanna say point A and go point B. And then lastly, why did I put a Y there? Okay, it's double. Why did I put a Y? Oh, should have put a Y. I shouldn't have put that L over there. Okay, so this is our point. This is our point C. Okay, again, what we then do is to simply try to calculate side 1, side 2, and then side 3. So how do we go about doing that? Of course, we could simply, in fact, one of the things that I would recommend people to do is to use a descriptive name such as side, just like this. However, since we are not, since they were giving us in this form as, I'm kind of confusing things here. Yeah, we're right. Let's do it this way. So we're gonna have side 1, which is simply the distance between x1 and between a and b. So that will simply be given as math dot square root of what? Square root of x squared minus it has got to be, because side 1 is actually, let me comment this. Yeah, side is actually a distance between A and B. So it's gonna be x square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus 1. So this time around though, we will be using the math.pow method, and right here we'll simply go x2 minus x1, and we put our exponent there, which is 2, and we simply add that, and we simply add y2 minus x2 to that. Okay, now gotta go y2 minus y1, and then put a 2 as an exponent. Of course, you guys, it's not like we could have replaced this part by simply y2 minus y1 multiplied by y2 minus y1. It's not like you always have to have them. It's not like you always have to have one and the same thing. As I'm saying, coding it's a matter of making a choice. Even though you've gotta know what's wrong and what's right compared to the other, of course. Double side 2. Let me try to have a space so that I will comment this out and simply say distance between A and it doesn't matter though, like, oh yeah, you can make side 2 distance between B and C, or and C, whichever one, it will work. Okay, let's go at dot square root of what? It's actually square root of math.pow. I'll simply put x3 minus x1, and then we put a 2 here. Check this out, you guys. We can simply go 10 minus 8. Why? We do know that 10 minus 8 is actually 2, so it's not like you've gotta put a 2 as it is here. Okay, plus y3 course that would give us a 0. Okay, what else? Of course, you guys, this is not the best way of doing things. I'm just trying to emphasize different things now, to point out different things. So now lastly, we need a distance between B and C, and we'll simply call that our side 3, which will simply be method square root of let's do this, x3 minus x2, we multiply that by x3 minus x2. This will simply, I should put the multiplication operator there. What we then do, we just go and here we put y3 minus y2. y3 minus y2, we square that. Of course, we gotta put a semicolon to end our statement. Now we've got 3 sides. It's actually time to find our s. However, we're gonna do it differently this time around, so that you guys see that you can play around with this in whatever way you like. Okay, it seems like we are gonna need a variable to store s, because we also use it here. Like if we decided not to have s, then we would have a square root of side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 all over 2 multiplied by s minus side 1, and multiplied by a. I hope you see what I'm trying to say here. Like if you decide not to use s, of which we shouldn't by the way, then the square root, you see this thing inside the square root, it will be something cumbersome, because we would have because we would actually be replacing x with side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 all over 2. That will be way too tedious, you guys. So it's a better solution to have a variable called s, right? So how do we get s? We simply add the three sides. This one, side 1, why can't I type the word side? Side 1, side 2, and then side 3. Divide the whole thing by 2. Of course, you end it with a semicolon. Now, what else we want? We want to find our area now. Of course, we can simply give out our solution now, simply by okay, let's just go double area. Like spaces in between the lines. So its area is simply method square root of s into s minus side 1 multiplied by s minus side 2 multiply that by s minus side 3. Are we good? Of course we are. Let me double check it. It's s into s minus side 1, s into s minus side 1, s minus side 2, s minus side 3. It seems like we're good. So what is it we want to do now? We simply want to print out our solution. Let's just comment this part out. Of course, you might decide not to do this. That's also okay. It's just that I want you guys to get used to this idea of putting comments. Okay, so it's gonna be the area of the triangle is, let's just go percentage sign, it's 3 spaces, let's go one number after a decimal point and put our format specifier. And then lastly, of course, I should have put F here. Okay, and lastly, look at this, you guys. Why don't you just go copy and paste the whole thing and avoid having this variable. Let's hit the hit button. Let's hit the run button and see what we got. Of course, we're gonna check how our program is doing by copying and pasting what they gave us on the sample run. So boom, it seems like we're getting what we expected. Okay, you guys, now that we've got a solution, please let me know what you think I should have done differently, because as you guys interact with me, I get to improve my way of doing things, because as I just mentioned before, there are infinitely many ways of doing things when it comes to programming. So I would love to make things as easy as possible for you, right? And so that's pretty much it, you guys. See you on the next tutorial. I'm gone. Cheers.